Well, I ain't good looking, I'm riddled with self-doubt. 2 strikes against me, don't you count me out. I got 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me, baby, don't you count me out. Well, I ain't got no money, I don't carry any clout. I got 2 strikes against me, don't you count me out. I got 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me, baby, don't you count me out. No matter what it takes to win your love, baby, I'll keep coming round. No matter what life brings to try to take me out, baby, I will not go down. Baby, I'll keep coming round. No matter what life brings to try to take me out, baby, I will not go down. Well, I ain't good looking, I'm riddled with self-doubt. 2 strikes against me, don't you count me out. I got 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me, baby, don't you count me out. I got 2 strikes against me. 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me. 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me. 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me. 2 strikes against me. I got 2 strikes against me, baby, don't you count me out. I got 2 strikes against me, baby, don't you count me out. I got 2 strikes against me, baby, don't you count me out.
Good afternoon. You're tuning in to the Afterdark Spotlight here live at the Afterdark studio. Today's special guest is Rick McKee, and I've had the pleasure to work with Rick on several different projects. And he's going to tell you a lot about where he came from and what he's doing and some bands he's working with. But Rick is a multi-instrumentalist, and when I say multiple instruments, like me, I play, guitar and bass, and I'm not like proficient on everything, but like when Rick came in to do his session, he was doing drums, guitar, bass, banjo, mandolin, all this stuff, and he was like very proficient on everything. So I was just like, man, this is like blows me away. So, but anyway, so welcome, Rick McKee. So tell us a little bit. I guess we'll start with how you got into music. I'm sure you have a big background because, like I said, you play with a band, you teach. I see you do things on Facebook with like different choral things where you do arrangements and stuff. So where do you want to start on your journey? Because like I said, from watching on Facebook, I mean, it seems like it goes way, way back, and there's a lot of, not only skills and talent, but like technical knowledge and things like that as far as being, a teacher and stuff like that. So where do you want to start and let the people know who Rick McKee is?
Well, really, it's my family. My great-granddad was an orchestra leader, and my grandmother and grandfather were both musicians as well. And my dad played, he was in the jazz band at West Point.
Okay.
So, they had a little dance band. They played in a little family band that played it in all. So, we kind of grew up with it. So all my brothers and sisters, I'm one of 7, and, everybody played and sang, and music was just part of what we did. Mm-hmm. And then got into high school, and a couple of really fine teachers there that I had, and so when I was in high school, we were able to do band and chorus, so I was in both, and just some wonderful teachers there, and that kind of made me want to be a teacher. Then, but I played in garage bands and stuff all that time. My brothers, one played guitar and one played bass, and he could play guitar too. But so that's where I learned to play guitar and mandolin and bass and stuff. When they wanted to play lead, they would give me the guitar or whatever and the bass and say, "Play this," and I'll play. And so because I was the youngest of the boys, and then. I knew I wanted to teach music, and I thought I was going to be a choral director, and I am a choral director, but I thought I was thinking high school.
Yeah.
And ended up in teaching elementary school music, and that's what I did after I graduated college. Did lots of, before I taught, I did lots of stuff, but all that time playing in bands or whatever, just making music wherever I could.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So. Yeah, it's like most of us, like I said, we just, as we get into it, especially in our younger years and our teen years and getting up into our 20s, we're like, hey, what friends do I have plays music? I want to get together and play with you guys. So as we said earlier, you came to the Afterdark studio and recorded several projects. Now, when you do, and one thing that I found intriguing is like when he was recording here and I was listening to the music, like a lot of music you listen to, it's just, I don't know, you can't relate to it or anything like that. So it's just I'm not sure what you call it today, but like when you write music, like do you come up with music first, lyrics, or how do you arrange when you do your original songs? Because like one that sticks out in my mind and things that I can relate to, because when you were doing some of your original material, I'm a visual person, so I could visualize things. Like you had the one that sticks out to me is the Lazy Susan. Is it called Lazy Susan?
Lazy Susan.
And it's just about and kind of tell them about that song, just maybe that one song, and they'll. Because when you were singing it, I could visualize, okay, I'm seeing the table, I'm seeing the lazy and things like that. Tell them a little bit about that song so they will kind of get where I'm coming from.
So my brother said when we lived in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and it was in middle school shop class, and he made this Lazy Susan, and this was, 60, I don't know, 3 or 2, somewhere around there. And I was probably in third or fourth grade, and so that thing sat on our kitchen table. I mean, until I don't know, as long as I can remember it. And I thought he had taken it after Mom died, and so I wrote the song about it. So I wrote this song about him making the Lazy Susan, about how that was always in our family.
Yeah.
And of course, as families do, the kitchen is where everybody kind of gathers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so that was just a song about the Lazy Susan.
Yeah.
And kind of the joke is, because in the song I talk about him taking it after we kind of sold the house, and he doesn't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
So
and that's one thing, like I said, I mean, you've done multiple songs, and I've liked a lot of them. Like I said, that was one that stuck out because, like I said, I could just visualize the family sitting at the table. There's the Lazy Susan, and everybody, a lot of people can relate to that because they can be like, oh, my family did that and had the Lazy Susan.
Yeah.
So it's good when I get artists in here that sing songs. Like I said, I'm a visual person, so when people are singing, I'm already seeing a music video or something like that. So that's cool. So when you do a song, because like your music, like I said, I encourage you guys to go listen to the music, and like what all have you put out? I know you did two projects here.
I did 2 big projects here.
So tell them about your music and where they can find your music. We're gonna be putting some links and everything like that as well. But like as far as like your first album and stuff up to what have you? How many albums and stuff you've done?
I've done 4 projects on my own.
Okay. And I encourage you to go listen to them, because even though like I produced, got to record them and got to sit here and watch them do all the instruments, after you recorded them, like I like to go back and like listen to them when I'm driving, and I listen to it as if I didn't have a hand in recording it or anything like that. I'm like, I want to listen to this as an artist, and like, you know, like I'm listening to, you know, hey, I'm listening to Rolling Stones, but I'm gonna put in Rick McKee, and I want to hear, I want to hear this, you know, I want to hear the songs and not think of, oh man, I should have did this different, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like that. So it's amazing when I take me out of the equation and listen to your music. I'm like, good grief, because if you've never seen this guy play, dude, it's like your finger picking. That's one thing that amazed me. And like I said, and when you came in and started doing the sessions, I was just like, you know, I've been playing guitar 30 years too, but like, you know, I can't touch the finger picking. And another thing that drew me to your music was all the alternate tunings and stuff. I'm a standard guy. I do like drop D is about all I can do. And he's in here doing, you know, like all these different tunings. I'm like, what are you doing? And, you know, so you have to learn. It's like relearning guitar to do all these different formations and stuff. And that's amazing that, you know, that it just shows your talent and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, it's amazing to watch. So I recommend you listen to the album. You know, listen to all four of them, but then I suggest that you go back and then like listen to it a second time, and then like listen to the intricacy of like, you know, the guitars, the production, and the playing and stuff that you did, because I get artists in here all the time, and you know, you listen to, you know, Leonard Skinner and stuff like that. Right. Yeah, it's good jamming stuff, but then you get a player like you in here, and like I said, I'm a guitar guy, so I get like a little more into it, and not just guitar, but like, you know, the parts you do with the mandolin and everything. But like I said, mainly the guitar and the finger picking, and it amazes me and stuff like that. So when you do like a song, do you come up with like words first, music, melody? How do you? I know everybody. You know, we've had some clients on here that says, okay, when people talk, like me, myself, if I hear somebody talking, I'm like,
right,
I'm like, I don't mean to listen to your conversation,
right.
but you just sparked my memory, and I may write a song about you or about that situation. So do you do things that reflect on like conversations and things that you hear people say, or I mean, you know, obviously it's like life experiences with like, you know, the Lazy Susan and stuff like that, and I think that's why, you know, a lot of your music that I've heard you record is so relatable, because it's real life things. It's like, hey, this was about my mother, my brother, my sisters, and family, and everybody's like, oh, I can relate to that, other than something like this. So how do you proceed when you write songs, especially when you're doing all the instruments like that, and like I said, and I keep, you know, harping on, you know, how intricate and stuff it is. you guys have to listen. Like, you know, when you see me play an acoustic show, I'm doing G, C, and D, and it's like, yeah, it's cool, but like, and we'll get on to further about to. Don't let me forget to mention your open mic and the church, the church show.
Right.
But like I said, but listen to it. I mean, like, you know, as you listen to it as a musician, even if you're not a musician, you're gonna be like, that dude's got like 12 fingers or what, you know. But so like I said, you know, back to the, so when you write, do you just have feelings and stuff that come out, or memories and stuff, and you just start writing lyrics or write words, or how do you compose a song?
Well, I kind of do all kinds of stuff. So I am a composer, and one of my approaches is kind of a shotgun effect. So I'll try lots of different things, and you know, sometimes and another joke I have a lot is that if you're my friend, I'll end up writing a song about you, and I've written songs about lots of friends. But usually what I've done is I come up with a musical idea, or a lot of times words will suggest melody or suggest rhythms and stuff like that. Yeah. And so like a phrase you hear or something like that will suggest that. And then you just kind of build on that. And I do a lot of writing of kind of riffs, you know, and I'll get stuck on a riff, and then I'll try to write text over that. So you know, I've got lots of songs that are like where I've got all the chords and all the riffs and all the stuff, and I'm trying to think how can I fit words to, you know, fit a melody over this or stuff like that. So you know, it's just all kinds of,
there's a lot of different stuff.
You know, just try experimenting.
Exactly.
And lots of songwriting and composition to me is you're experimenting. You see how many different ways you can manipulate the sound or make something happen. And then again, trying to make some kind of meaningful song out of it.
Exactly.
With
Make
the text.
it all flow together at the end of the day. So, and I've had the honor. So tell them, and we're going to give a shout out to some things you do as far as, Rick uses his music to, not only for music therapy and stuff like that, but you do some local things to help local musicians. One thing that a lot of the venues and stuff, when you're playing locally here in Cartersville, they like to hear cover songs because people want to hear stuff that they know and they can dance to when they go to a bar, venue to eat and drink and stuff like that. But you have something special that you've been doing. How many years have you been doing this?
I think 17 years.
17 years.
17
so tell them about that. So what? Is it like an open mic night? But what he does, this caters to pretty much like, I guess you prefer originals versus covers. I mean, it is a singer-songwriter. So it's a singer-songwriter thing. So tell them about that and where it's at and what the church does with like the food pantry and stuff. And this shows a whole different side of like he takes his music and plays his music and has fun, but then he takes his music, to kind of a ministry-based thing where it gets where it gives back to the community. So tell them about that and everything.
Okay, so this is the Ascension Coffee House, and is what we call it. It's at the Episcopal Church of the Ascension here in Cartersville. And my wife and I kind of started this way back, and the fellowship hall there, the which is Tonsmeyer Hall now, was sitting empty on Friday night. And we thought, we love doing singer-songwriter things, so we decided we would do kind of a coffee house, a little performance, so people could come in and perform, and bring in some songwriters and let them do their stuff in a listening room where nobody was talking, and kind of like Eddie's Attic. That was kind of the model. And so, Angie gets up in the front of every time we do it and says, if you want to have a conversation, or if you, please go out in the hall, you're welcome to do that. But we want to honor these songwriters, and so we've done that once a month for the past 17 years. So it's always the second Friday night of the month. Every once in a while we have to move it because of Holy Week or something like that. We take the month of July off, and we started with bringing donations for the food pantry. The Red Door Food Pantry was located at the church, and they've since become their own entity. We still have a distribution center there at the church, but they're on their own. They're part of the Atlanta Food Bank now.
Yeah, and that's huge, man. I drive by there sometimes when I'm coming through. I don't know if it's on what day is that on? It's like on a Tuesday or Wednesday or
Thursday. I think is when.
And I drive by, and man, there's like I don't know what time it starts, but because usually when I'm coming home from the city, it's around 4:30. Man, there's just cars like lined out the.
Oh yeah.
It's just huge.
Yeah, so, it's served thousands of people. I mean, it's really amazing, and we still we take. Toiletries and things like that. We don't really get food anymore because they have that part of the Atlanta Food Bank, so they get a lot from them. We still collect donations for the rector's discretionary fund. So if somebody is in immediate need and they need something really quick, like a gas card or something like that, that's what that money goes to. So our priest has discretion on where that goes, so that's
awesome. Yeah, so if you guys want to, like I said, give back to the community, like I said, they've been doing that for many years, and it's wild because, like I said, I'm 50 and I grew up here in Cartersville, and I used to pass. I mean, living in Cartersville, I passed that church for. I mean, when did I play there? Last year or a couple years ago? I got the honor to play there, but I had passed that church for the last 30 something years, and I always thought, and I always say the Red Door, it is just and I always tell my wife, I said, man, it's just a cool looking place. I said, like, I don't know what it is. I said, I know it's like a church. I said, but it's just cool because it's just the way it sits on the corner, the landscape, and the ran door and everything, it's just, I don't know, it's just like, to me, it's like it's probably, I guess, an iconic place.
Oh, it's historic,
it's just always like a cool little place, and I never knew anything, about it or anything about the music and stuff, and then somehow, you and I connected, and then they're like, oh, yeah, I do this open mic night, and I was like, oh, that's that place, and so, now, is that open to the public, or how do you...
Yes.
So it's open to the public to come hear the performers?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, how do they find that? Is there like a Facebook page or something that we'll be able to put a link on for them to see to keep up with it, I guess?
Yes. I know the Bartow Trader always has it in there.
Okay.
Rick Richards has always been great. Oops, didn't mean to do that. It's always been, I talk with my hands, sorry. I hope that didn't mess you up. Has always been great about putting an article about the guest in there every time. And there's always a sign out front that says live music the week that it's going to be there.
Okay.
And it's always from 7 to 9 on that Friday night. And it's free. I mean, you can make donations if you'd like, but you don't have to. We usually have some light snacks there, coffee and tea and stuff like that.
And if you don't know where it's located, it's here in Cartersville. It's right down from the courthouse. If you know where like the Cartersville courthouse is, it's like, right. You'll see it. It's right there on the corner.
And we've had some awesome singer-songwriters, right? So we try to find local singer-songwriters, and they're everywhere, really. And some are more professional than others. We really try to vary who we have. All ages, gender, and it's great just to hear, all the really good musicians and really fine songwriters that are around this area.
Yeah, so there's a lot, and like I said, and I do very, very little of like, a lot of times when I go out, people's like, hey man, play that new original you just wrote. And I'm like, I can't. They're like, what do you mean? Like me, like when I write and record stuff, I'll write it, record it, and release it. And I don't like put it in my repertoire to learn, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So when you had asked me about playing there, I was like, man, this is cool because, and as you know, if you're a musician and not just Cartersville, Kennesaw, whatever, there's not many chances to play original music. Like you said, unless you go to Eddie's Attic or somewhere that's specific, you can't go to, a venue on Friday night and hear original music and stuff like that. So what you guys do is a very special thing. So it was cool for me. I was like, well, man, I got to get my stuff together. I've got to learn my stuff. But another thing that was cool is like when I went, the people that came, like I said, there were some regulars and like I said, some new people. But they made me feel like a superstar because like I didn't take any CDs, any kind of merch because I didn't know what to expect stuff. And they're like, do you have any CDs? Do you have any merch? I was like, man, I could have sold CDs and merch, and they made you and like you would sing a song. So and one thing is like when you're singing in a bar and stuff, and we're doing venues and stuff, when we get done playing a song. You want people to go crazy when you're doing the cover music, and you're yeah man. But the cool thing is that when I was doing that, when you get done playing the song, it's like silent. You're like, did they like it? But it means they're listening, and that you've got people. It was wild because, like I said, when we're playing, I keep mentioning these bars, venues. People hear you and see you. They're like, yeah, man, play some Skinner, play Freebird. But they're having fun, they're drinking and doing their thing in the back of their mind. But like when you go to this event, I don't call it like an open mic night, but when you go to this songwriter series thing you have, people are sitting there like they're like all eyes are on you. They're watching you, and it's a whole different thing. And you're like, they're actually listening.
They love it. Yeah,
this is cool. Awesome. And like I said, so the people, made me feel very, very welcome. I mean, like I said, I felt like I had known some. Well, and actually, I ran into some people I'd known, but like I said, the love and connection. I was like, man, these people are like cool, and it made me feel welcome. And then, like I said, they made me feel like my songs were, whether my songs sucked or not, they made me feel like, man, you got some really good stuff. But like I said, so I suggest, so now if somebody wanted to go, if somebody's watching the podcast and be like, man, I'd like to get on that, how do they contact you guys to maybe get, to see if they, if they can get on there and stuff like that?
Well, they can usually go through our website. So Cosmic Possum Music is my kind of a publishing company.
Okay, and we'll have the links to this stuff and everything as well.
But you usually go through there and you'll get a hold of Angie, who really is the one who books people. You know, because I'll ask somebody to play, but I'll turn it over to her because she takes care of everything. So we're pretty selective, you know, and we really like to have a lot of people, but it's not an open mic. It is we have you come in and play, and you and I are the whole show.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a reminds me of the Bluebird, and it's you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And well, one thing, like I said, you know, you had to be selected because it's once a month. You know what I mean? So you only get 12 artists a year and stuff like that. So you have to be select. And like I said, there's so many, and
we try to include a lot. So you know, if you're on one year and you're not on the next year, that's not that. We're just trying to get a lot of people on there.
Yeah.
And the audience, I will say, a lot of times they'll request us to bring people back.
Oh, that's great.
So we get a lot of that too. So
that's good. And I watch it, and y'all stream that live as well on Facebook and stuff like that. So I've got to watch several artists when I couldn't be there. So that's very cool. But like I said, for you guys to take that and to, you know, help support local music, you know, with originals and stuff like that. Because I get bands in here all the time. They're like, "Hey man, do you know where we can play?" I'm like, "Nowhere. There's nowhere for bands that play original music like that unless you go to Atlanta and usually when you're doing Atlanta, you know, in that Atlanta scene, you're having to split the bill with like 3 other bands. I guess that's the the cons about doing all original music and stuff like that. It's you know, people want to hear cover music and stuff like that. So, and we'll put links and like I said, everything. So all your music is available on like all the digital platforms and everything.
Yeah.
So you, like I said,
so I will say this: there's another guy named Rick McKee out there. It's another composer, and he has done a lot of stuff for Disney, and you know, has some song material out there, and sometimes we get confused. I mean, ASCAP has got us confused.
Oh well, too bad you don't get some big royalty checks. It's like,
well, I've gotten some of his royalty checks. We've had to give it back, but still, I mean, he's a great guy, and we have some funky connections, but that's another story. But all the streaming platforms. So my projects that are on there one's called Spin, and then there's Broken Record. New Religion is one that I recorded at home, and the other one is not all completely out there. It's a Soft Horizon, but they're instrumental tracks that I did for a yoga studio.
Oh, wow.
So some of them are quite long. So the whole project is probably not out there. Just different individual things on there because they're massive. I'm at some point want to try to mix all that down to a single project so it's listenable.
Yeah.
But
so you do, like I said, you've got all your solo stuff and everything. So do you play? I know sometimes you'll fill in with local bands and stuff. Do you have like a set band that you play with?
I have 2 that I'm working with right now.
Okay.
One is Euphonious, which are I think all of us live here. At one time, we had a guy from Rome in the band, and so it's kind of an old time jam band. I mean, we do a lot of Grateful Dead and Levon Helm kind of things. It's just
I've
kind of
seen some live videos. It's great. If you people, like I said, you know, Widespread Panic, Grateful Dead, you know, Railroad, like I said, the jam and stuff, you got to go. How many people is in that band?
It's a quartet.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I know is Scott Turner.
Yeah,
Scott Turner. Like I said, I've known Scott for many years. Amazing musician.
He's a dude.
Stuff, so. Euphonious. So like I said, I saw some live videos. It's groovy stuff.
And so I've just started working on with called Shape the Curve, and we've done kind of a small private gig. And that's got some local guys, Natalie Goodwin and Steve Chenal and Bruce McLeod, which is a guy from Rome, which is a fabulous musician.
Yeah. So now, what do you do in that band?
I'm the guitarist in that band.
Okay,
so I'm the keyboard and
because you keyboard in Euphonious, and then because Bruce McLeod is If you don't know that guy, I had the honor of having him in the studio here, and that guy blew my mind. He's like, I can only play one keyboard at a time, and I have to watch my fingers, and Bruce is over here doing, and just like you do, the organs and stuff, and he's not playing, Richard Marx or Journey. I mean, he's over here doing ELO stuff, and and I'm like, oh my God,
he's
it's just
great.
So Bruce was amazing. So
fine bass player too.
So I can imagine you guys together with your guitar skills and his. That's amazing. So it's Euphonious and
Shape the Curve.
So once they get out, like I said, the Euphonious is going. So like I said, check them out on Facebook. So as we're wrapping up, like I said, I just want to appreciate, say thank you for coming here to the After Dark Spotlight.
Absolutely.
And you guys, like I said, Rick McKee, and just make sure just not to pull up the one from Disney. And but we'll put some links to his music, and we hope that you enjoy the podcast. But like I said, look up Rick McKee and was it Euphonious, and you guys have a Facebook page as well.
Yes.
Yeah, have a Facebook page. And like I said, if you're interested in performing at the Singer-Songwriter Series, get with them. And you guys have a blessed day, and we will talk to y'all soon. Thank you.
See you
once
later.
again, Rick McKee.
Thanks.
There's a lazy Susan that my brother made, sitting in the center of our kitchen table. He made it in shop class in the 6th or 7th grade, and it stayed there until after Mother died. It's her mom and dad and 7 children, through countless meals and endless conversations. And if that girl could talk, what a story she would tell. It would probably make you laugh until you cried. And through the passing of the years, all the joys and all the tears, we could travel memory lane both up and down. All the children, husbands, wives, the stories of our lives. There was lazy Susan spinning round. Just some wood and glue and a little dark veneer, and some marbles inside to make it turn. It was simple and rough hewn, it was there for 30 years, and to my knowledge still rolling along. It held all of those birthday cakes so tall and proud, all were made from scratch with homespun decorations, on a table in a room around which all our lives revolved, and not a single day went by without a song. And through the passing of the years, all the joys and all the tears, we could travel memory lane both up and down. All the children, husbands, wives, the stories of our lives. There was lazy Susan spinning round. I should have missed her now that she is gone, but my brother took her back, and she's home where she belongs. Through the passing of the years, all the joys and all the tears, we could travel memory lane both up and down. All the children, husbands, wives, the stories of our lives. There was lazy Susan spinning round. There was lazy Susan spinning round.